Focus Outdoors has spent a lot of time fishing the Glacial Lake region of South Dakota. Our go-to guy is Dennis Foster of EyeTime Promotions. And you never know who Dennis will have tagging along. All you know is that there'll be good people who are interesting and love the outdoors. So let's hit the water for some great fishing and great guests. Stay with us. Focus Outdoors will be right back. Focus Outdoors headed to Roy Lake Lodge and Resort to do some very early spring ice fishing in the Glacial Lake regions of South Dakota. We're going to hook up with Dennis Foster of EyeTime Promotions and Friends. Roy Lake Lodge and Resort sits in a beautiful and unique setting in the center of some great fishing in the Glacial Lake regions of South Dakota. The lodge sits next to a state park with many mature trees that makes for a beautiful outdoor setting. You can stay at the lodge or bring your camper. Both the state park and Roy Lake Lodge and Resort sit on the banks of their namesake, Roy Lake. This lake has a good reputation for producing a variety of species. On this trip, we're going to fish for many species that inhabit this region. Stay tuned for the fun and fishing.
Hey, we're out here at late ice. Obviously you can tell that the access is starting to get tough, but we've had a very cold winter. We've literally got 3 foot of very good ice once you get away from the accesses. And these are conditions that you'll start to face, and there's ways to get around that so you can still get to these fish and experience some of the very good fishing that is available. One thing is to use ATVs. We've got a Honda outfitted with J wheels, which add some flotation and traction to help pull you through these bad spots going on and off the ice. We've also got a light aluminum trailer, an actual Aluma brand trailer, which is great. You can see we've got more stuff than we'd ever need in 4 years. Got all our guys on there. We're perfectly safe. There's no concerns. And also, you're seeing these pickup tracks here. They actually dropped a pickup in right here yesterday. And nobody's going to die, but you can darn sure wreck some equipment. By having the proper equipment, you're going to get to your destination safely, dryly, without any concerns or incidents such as this. So we're good to go, and we're going to run out, set some tip-ups, try to get some pike, try to get some bigger walleyes towards dark, and we got small and largemouth bass that we're going to key on here. We're out here third week of March. We're in the Glacial Lakes of South Dakota. We're on a very classic and typical lake that we have in this area. We're back in a very shallow, weedy bay. We're going to take and target some bluegills here. It's a beautiful morning, going to be a great afternoon. We're going to do this till probably mid-afternoon. Then we're going to skip over to some deep water, some rock, bay with some weed in it, just a real typical spot for late season walleyes. There's also smallmouth and largemouth in there. We're going to be using some tip-up tactics for that. We're just a multi-species kind of day, and that's the kind of stuff that we're fortunate for and we enjoy here in South Dakota. We're going to get ourselves set up in these bluegills and try to get some of these, and then we'll skip on over, but better get to fishing here. 4 days and got 3 fish.
Really?
Really sucked. Why is he back?
Oh, I got the monster. I'm on the board.
This is a no-call tournament.
I think our shiners are bigger than this one. I better let him keep that wax worm. He earned it. Now we're just up here today enjoying some time. Some of the lakes just outside of Aberdeen and surrounding area. Up here with Dennis Foster and his crew, and wouldn't call it late season ice fishing, but we're getting towards the end. Still 36 inches of ice easily, but you know, getting about to be that time where you see the snow geese flying, and things are changing. But you know, we got a lot going on up in our area here. You know, we're up in the northeast part of the state, Aberdeen, middle of Brown County. Hunting and fishing is probably our primary draw, especially here in our neck of the woods. In the fall, we run our contest. We run our $1 million pheasant hunt in the fall, and what that amounts to is if you're lucky enough to shoot one of the banded pheasants we turn loose, you get entered in for a chance to match up at $1 million cash prize. So we've been doing that. This will be the 5th year that we're doing it, and we're really excited. Hope to always give that cash prize away, but we partner with a lot of guides and outfitters, Dennis Foster being one of them. We've worked with him in the past with pheasant hunting, and this is my first time out with him fishing today. So we're kind of excited to see what happens. Getting a few bites, looking for some big ones, and kind of go from there. Untangle them, so. Little guy. They like that bubblegum jig. You know, there is a lot of importance on tourism, not only tourism but agriculture in South Dakota for sure, and unfortunately the two don't seem to coincide very well with each other right now in reference to pheasants. I mean, you have to have the habitat and the winter cover and the shelter belts for the birds, but unfortunately with the strong economy, you're seeing a lot of those shelter belts and habitat getting burned off or plowed under or tore out to get a few more rows of corn or whatever it might be, and we know the importance of agriculture for sure, but I just think that we'd like to see people be stewards of the land and keep some of that habitat left in for not only the birds but the deer, and I mean everything kind of coincides with that. But there's two strong industries. You have South Dakota that brings in upwards of $160 million a year by hunters, and then you have the agricultural side that brings in millions of dollars a year also for the farming practices, and we just need to find a nice balance between the two. I know South Dakota is working real hard to try to increase the awareness of the importance of habitat and those winter cover, especially the winter cover, and it's just something that everybody needs to address. It's one definitely strong topic that is concerned on not only our minds but pheasant hunters as well.
Well, we're out here fishing bluegills, killing a little time late morning, early afternoon. We referenced it earlier. We're going to go fish some tip-ups. I'm a big fan of fishing big chubs. The key to that is having good, lively bait. We literally have 12, 13 dozen chubs on hand here. Generally tough to keep. Gosh, it's probably 45, pushing 50 degrees right now. We've got a product here, this oxygenator product. Has a 12-volt outlet, so it's great for being mobile, and it actually puts pure diffused oxygen into the water. So when we get out there, our chubs are going to be in good shape. If we just had a 5-gallon pail, I can guarantee you we'd have been lucky to have half a dozen chubs alive when we do get out there and get ourselves in position for these fish. So it's really going to save the day for us. And just little things like that are very, very key to having consistent success. You know, you go to the time and the effort to get yourself out on the water, you spend the money to get the proper bait, you just as well take care of it. Just like your hard equipment, you know, your boats, your augers, you know, whatever you're using there. So just little things are big. Part of having the proper equipment is having the proper accessories and complementary equipment. I run a Honda Foreman, It's really slick in the fact that it does have a 12-volt plug-in right on it, a cigarette-style plug-in. Just simply plug that in. We've got our power for that. Also handy too, I run an Navionics background maps on my smartphone. It's pretty power intensive. I can simply plug it in, charge my phone up, I'm good to go. I've got my map all day long. I've obviously got my phone, got a network of buddies out fishing so we can stay in touch with each other. Just another little thing that ends up paying big dividends. One of the keys to this system is big chubs. I just can't stress that enough. We use a lot of chubs this size. This would be on the small end in my opinion. Up to 8-10 inches is not overdoing it by any means. Get him back down there. And this might be some smallmouth bite. We're on the tip of a point here with some pretty good sized boulders. And those smallies seem to like that type of stuff. And they darn sure love chubs. Get him put back in place and see if we can't connect with this other one. Yeah, he's still there. The camera can pick that up. It is spinning. I should be able to just, there, I feel his weight. Not a lot of head shake, so I'm hoping it is a bass. Usually them pike get a little there, it's getting a little frisky. That is a little baby pike.
They're hungry.
But it's a fish. We know we're in the right spot. Get him baited up. We'll continue getting these tip-ups down, and we will end up connecting with some better fish before this day is done. This particular case, I've got a shiner minnow here. Got a little variety of baits. My opinion, this makes a fine representation of small bluegills and small crappies, which these fish will key on, especially in these weed lines.
A goal of this group of sportsmen was to get Andrew's son Gavin hooked on fishing. This was Gavin's first big ice fishing trip with the guys. Our group feels that if we get our youth involved, that will help them understand the importance of the environment and then transfer that understanding into conservation. Giving kids a chance to hunt and fish gives our environment a chance. People will protect what they love.
It's a bass.
We got a bass!
It's a good little bass. Fun enemy. I'll get him on there and I'll hand you the line. And I'll let you pull him up and I'll keep the line up. Looks like he's still there. Yep, I can feel his weight. There you go. Looks like a northern. Ooh.
Pull that line out of the hole, buddy.
Gotta kind of let him go a little bit. Fight with him, he'll tire out. There you go. There. There. Oh, he's still on there. Grab him, he's on him. There you go. Oh yeah, he got it small.
Oh. Northern.
And when I tell you to set the hook, feel it? Pull hard, pull hard. Pull hard. Keep pulling. Oh, he's there.
Pull him out of there, buddy.
Oh, it's a nicer one. Keep pull. Oh, he's backwards. Let him have a little line. Let him have a little. There you go. Hold on.
Grab him before he rolls and everything.
There you go.
Grab him, buddy.
Get in there.
Good job.
We might be all right come evening here with these guys biting in the middle of the day like this. Definitely engulfed it, fishing these chubs. It goes to show you this fish isn't probably 13 inches long. Eating shiners like that, you really can't fish a bait that's too darn big for these fish. There we go. Let me take you there. We literally just walked away from this one, had one steal the bait. Didn't make it 10 yards back to our central spot here and got bit again. I'm thinking it's, oh my. Get a line. Just a nice largemouth. We're in northeastern South Dakota. I tell you, they don't get a heck of a lot bigger than that. I mean, this is a good fish for us. It really is. We're just on the inside edge of a weed line here, probably 5 foot of water maximum. We've got stuff spaced out in the weeds and the inside on the outside breaks. Once again, this is chubs. It just shows you what they can do. You know, we got our area covered very well. We've got a lot of different structural elements covered here, letting these chubs do the work for us. I don't know if you can see that, the chub right down his gullet there. We're letting him suck these baits down, just picking them up, and we're not even in the good part of the day. I think the best is yet to come here.
Got one up there.
Andrew is the editor of Outdoor Forum in South Dakota. He is an avid outdoorsman and a very good writer and outdoor photographer. You could tell the pride that Andrew felt about his son Gavin on that spring day. Why not? Gavin did a great job on the ice. Gavin caught on quickly and enjoyed every minute of it. Gavin is going to make an exceptional outdoorsman, just like his dad.
It's getting closer. We're just coming up on about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Ooh. Up here. Nice bass. It's a largemouth, buddy. I don't know if you've ever caught one of those before. Yeah? Oh, today? Yeah, that's a good fish. Good color on him. That sunlight hitting him.
Nice little slow turn.
A great way to end the show. The pro and the future. Gavin, keep on fishing. You have a bright future.
No bad head shake yet. We got a lot of northerns which normally shake their head pretty heavy. So up to this point it has not. By God, he just don't want to fight. Oh, now he does. Feel like another little pike. Oh, chicken line. My God, this wasn't up very long. It's kind of line. Yeah, that's what it is. Lots of those.
That's our show for this week. Ice fishing, the Glacial Lakes area of South Dakota. Our thanks to Dennis Foster of EyeTime Promotions. He always does a good job putting us on the fish. Put the Glacial Lakes area on your bucket list. Remember, do these 3 things for me. 1, take a child with you on the next hunting or fishing trip. 2, generously support your favorite conservation organization. And 3, spend some time in the next week where you focus on the outdoors. For our staff, I'm Steve Hammer. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time when we continue this journey, making more memories.
I'll never find on any city street. Go and find me a dirt road and get right in the groove. And let these chains of life unwind till I get loose. I wanna roll down a window and reach out and touch the reeds. And let that crazy world out there go on without me. It's like that river only knows one way to flow. You're never gonna change me, 'cause I've got a dirt road soul.